And here we are, but whoa, we're not done.
We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
What do you want to do now, Cap?
The same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Yes, it is episode 7 of the new United Resistance podcast. Same old show, new name, same awesome coverage. And by the way, we're kind of celebrating my birthday early since I'm going to be working all week. This is my only day off. So today we're celebrating, but we're also bringing you the best in current events. And I couldn't be more honored to have the guy that is my partner in crime when it comes to such matters. And that is Wes Moody of Whatever Cast. You know him, you love him, you see him on Rumble. Make sure that you support his channel and his content because YouTube decided to screw the man because they are not YouTube. They're never about you. They are about the globalists, and they are globalists too.
They are scum.
Absolutely. I got no problem trashing the platform. I mean, what are they really going to do to me, honestly, that they haven't done to you?
They're apparently Snowdub's getting into some trouble there with them and having some issues.
Yeah, so make sure, folks, Wes shared his link there. If you're not subscribed to Whatever Cast, make sure that you subscribe and support his channel. Hail, Japo. I see that you're here. It's great to see you, buddy. Scattered Night, great to see you. Mike does. Napoleon was the guy who started the continental system. This is the greatest globalist, greater than the globalists. Time Prophet. Hail to you, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Red Shirt, it's always great to have you. You let me know if you want to come up and contribute. Parrot Head, it's great to have you here, my friend. I appreciate you. Hashtag beware the Drew, he says. Tobat with the happy birthday, Drew. I appreciate that. And Tobat sharing the news that we're probably going to get into here momentarily because that's the most recent breaking that is happening, and that is Delta Airline crash landing in Toronto. All passengers evacuated. Some serious injuries. I hear one person's in critical condition. Plane landed upside down, if you can believe that. No fire.
Hey, that's just like Flight, the movie Flight. You ever seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Well, because it was in Canadian airspace, obviously the first thing that we say is, who exactly gets jurisdiction here on the investigation? Is this, I know the NTSB will be involved, but is the FAA take point on this? Because does Canada even have something equivalent to the FAA?
That's a good question. I can't imagine they wouldn't. But if they were the 51st state, they definitely would. I'm more excited about Greenland as the 51st state myself, though.
Yeah, that would be great. But
Canada would get like 34 representatives in Congress, and Greenland would get one. So I think Greenland's a better bargain there.
I know what last I heard about it, the NTSB is standing by, and they're looking to get a hold of the communication logs and the pilot, specifically the pilot communications and whatnot. So we will see. Again, this is the latest breaking news. There was a Delta Airlines flight that landed literally upside down at up in an airport in Ontario, and apparently there was no casualties, one person critical. Time Prophet says the FAA stands to protect all airplanes. It might right now. Federal Aviation Administration is the official. Mike says Flight Aviation Administration. Very cool.
You know what, Drew? I'm a terrible flyer, and this stuff is not helping me ever wanting me to get on an airplane again.
Yeah, the lovely lady in my life, she said that when we were watching the coverage of the unfortunate Black Hawk and airliner crash in DC, and she said, why would we want to fly it? And she brings up a great point, because I'm not sure right now I would want to fly anywhere.
Yeah, the worst part is when you get those funny flight attendants and they think they're being funny. And they're like, "Oh, we're going to Hawaii." I had one that was super drunk, and it was a male, so I thought for a second it was the captain, and I was like ready to try and break out of there, and I was like, "Oh, it was a flight attendant." It was like 3 sheets to the wind. I hate that. That makes it even worse. But they did give me free booze on the trip down, so that was okay. Apparently, sometimes they'll do that if they see you're a bad flyer. They're like, "It's on the house, buddy. Here's that double jack on the rocks you wanted."
You get some guy on there that's does a, I'm the captain now. Oh God. Time Prophet says with DEI we have more women pilots, but it's okay as they don't have to reverse the plane into a parking space. Nice one, Time Prophet. Nice. Oh man, so we have some interesting invites in store for you guys. Some people we're trying to track down as surprise guests. They may pop in, they may not, but we threw out some from really big time invites an invite out to your friend Jasmine St. Clair. Also have one out to Jack Posobiec. You can like or hate, uh, whether you disagree or agree with Jack, but he's always got top info. So I'll never ever ever disparage him on that. He's always got good info. As far as I'm concerned, the guy is on top of it, and I like Jack. So we'll see if he can pop on by, and we'll see if Jasmine can come in here because Jasmine had a good appearance both times she was on the program. Dwayne Erickson's here.
Hail, my friend.
He says, "Hello, Drew West. Good to see you and everyone in the chat." Good to see you, Dwayne. Yeah, man. So, good God. Besides the plane, the plane. Time Prophet says, "Has West got real curtains or is it a green screen?"
It's a green screen. This is a replication of what I used to have in my old studio. I used to have curtains. I can change it. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what else we got here. This is a blast from the past. Yeah, we could do Tiger King. I never got rid of this one. That one was pretty funny. Driving.
Oh wait, it's an influencer.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. That one's cool. We'll leave it on that one.
But we are living in unprecedented times, folks. Because Wes and I were just talking in the back before we went live. Fort Knox may get audited, and I don't know if I've ever seen it. It's well before we were alive the last time Fort Knox got audited. So,
yep. Well, Musk posted something that said it's empty. And I think a couple hours ago.
He posted a meme, but Elon is known to fuck with people too.
Oh, yeah, that was a meme.
So I don't know if he was fucking around or if it's serious. Now, we know the story behind that, Wes. You remember that one lady mysteriously that blew the whistle on it ended up dead, falling out of her apartment building mysteriously, allegedly. As soon as she called out the Rockefellers. And if you've watched Wes or I for any amount of time, you know that we know about the bloodlines, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all of them that are in cahoots at the very top of the globalist system, all the banking clans. And look, I do believe that lady was murdered to keep her trap shut, that the federal, Fort Knox was robbed long ago of the gold. And I bet you it's either in the hands of the royals or one of these high-level families. And it's all been scattered around. It all got scattered around to cover their debt.
Yeah, I was watching Jones today, and he had the Kirk Elliott on, as he does from time to time, the gold dealer guy, and he's saying right now there is a massive buy on gold. That gold is being scooped up, and it's being scooped up by an entity that is larger than Musk and larger than a lot of things. Like, this is a huge buyer, and he was speculating that they're trying to refill Fort Knox right now before it gets audited. That it's the Fed doing it.
Well, it very well could be, but I really think that they're going to have to do, in conjunction with this, that audit on the Federal Reserve. Let Ron Paul do his thing, go in with the Doge team and audit the Federal Reserve. That is going to yield some info. Well, you think it is high interesting facts now. You just wait.
Yeah, I love what's been happening. I mean, we were talking backstage, and it's just like this is like Christmas came early, man. I was expecting Trump to be about halfway through on his promises, like a year from now, maybe 18 months from now, and he's far exceeded my expectations. I'm very happy with what's been happening, and we are U.S. aid, and what you're gonna start seeing. The pushback from the rhinos pretty soon. I mean, you're gonna really start seeing because they're getting payola too. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Well, all the people are outing themselves. The Democrats, obviously, but I still don't think that we've cleared the decks on the Republican side of the influence of warhawks and rhinos, because I'm starting to raise an eyebrow at Tom Cotton. I don't trust him.
They were talking about Tom Cotton, on Jones today, and he was saying that him and Lindsey Graham have an NGO together that's raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and that has hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's kind of like,
Hail to Pope Metallicus. What's going on?
Hail, welcome, my friend.
And hail to the lovely Rita. Great to see you.
Hey, Rita. So Time Prophet says that Windows is trying to get him to upgrade to 11, and I'm having the same issue. I actually had to reboot before we came on and tell it to not do that.
Yep.
I'm thinking about building my own PC for the next computer I get.
Mm-hmm. Now that if you were here for the stream last night, folks, when I did Midnight Prism, I was going to say, now that people know I work for Best Buy, I'm surprised. Like, my friends aren't all hitting me up like, Drew, can I get some stuff with your discount? But, Best Buy has a pretty legendary discount for the employees. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, between that, Micro Center, and Newegg West, that may not be a bad idea.
Yep. Well, you can customize it, and prices have gone up so much. Like a computer that you'd spend $3,000 on, that I would spend $3,000 on, you can get for like $1,200 if you put it together yourself.
It's better to in this day and age build your own rig anyway, because the in-between components that so often get skimped on when you buy a pre-built, you can guarantee that they won't get skimped on because you're putting them in yourself. So that makes a difference.
Well, and these warranties are shit on the new computers.
Right.
It's if you're going to get that bad of a warranty, you might as well get something cheap enough that if you have to replace the whole damn thing, you can, or at least you know what's in there.
The quality of the motherboard, the quality of the processor, you can put in the GPU at your discretion, whatever you want. You can put in your RAM as much as you want, and the quality of the RAM matters. So, there's a lot to it. And then, you make sure there's a good power supply in there and a good, anything else that you might want thrown in. It's just way better across the board to build your own. and put in your own components individually.
Yep. Fortunately, I still don't have enough money to do that, but we're waiting to hear back on some sort of steady employment this week.
Well, there you go. That's good.
Yeah, you know, you got to keep a positive attitude. Negative attitude, I've learned, does not help much.
Well, despite the struggles, I go into this birthday week with some better hope. You know, it's rough with no car. I mean, it's very rough existence with no car, but you know, things are starting to stabilize as far as kind of keeping at least this hotel for the time being, and having us a place to live while things are in a state of flux. That portion is better, so that's good. But yeah, you know, I mean, we're still not out of the woods. It's not easy when you're paying out all of those Uber fees all the time when you have to get to work and get back to work. It's just,
The struggle is real. I mean, the economy's been bad for a while, and that's another thing that we're finding out with the Trump administration is that, you know, job loss was far worse than was reported, and that inflation is worse than was being reported, and that bribing, they were, surprise, surprise, we had called this shit out as it was happening. The books were cooked, and you know,
well, they absolutely were. They absolutely were. You know, getting into the USAID stuff, we now know the extent of it, and they try to tell us that you know, they try to tell us that excuse me, I'll shut this noise in the background off, guys. But they try to tell us that the spending wasn't out of hand, or these projects and donations were needed. It wasn't needed at all. It was all plain and simple money laundering from the word go.
it is. I'm telling you, you could, and look, they're starting to look at Social Security now, and they're probably blowing $500 billion a year conservatively on payoffs to people that shouldn't be getting it. And we've got, you know, Social Security is already in trouble.
Oh, hail to Kronos. Look at Kronos is in the house. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you again.
Hail, my friend.
But
and don't even get started on, you know, Medicare and Medicaid, and that, and probably half of that's fraud.
Well, it looks to be with Social Security. You know, we long suspected that. You know, ever since the late 70s and the Reagan 80s, when the government decided to dip their hand in the Social Security till and make it so that they could borrow from Social Security, it's been a shit show. And then on top of it, you got all these payments that are going out fraudulently. You want to tell me who all these characters are? There's at least two people that are over 300 years old collecting Social Security. Who are those? Who are those? I'd like to know. Because unless Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod is going to show up, I don't think that we're those payments are legit.
Wouldn't that be something? We're kind of living the plot of Highlander. We were living the plot of Highlander 2 until our man Trump got back into office. So who knows? All bets are off. Anything could be true. I really like that series, by the way. I think the series actually was a kind of redeemed Highlander as a franchise, because Highlander 2 really shit the bed. It was not a good movie. Hail Cotton Ministries. Good to see you, my friend.
I am interested to see, by the way, if that movie is going to happen with Henry Cavill. We'll see. Wait and see.
Oh, I've got some exclusive behind the scenes from Friday Night Tights. I'm going to share it with you right now.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
here we go. It's exclusive. Watch. Gary's impregnated himself. Subscribe to the Nerdrotic channel, folks.
Oh boy. You know, I saw that today, that clip, and my God, and you just saw the look on my fiance's face. She was just like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I thought Papa would appreciate that. That's why.
Yeah.
I also wanted the shock value for you, of course.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So we'll go ahead. Want to go ahead and share this for people, Wes. Let's let everybody see what exactly the chart shows here. Shall we?
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So according to this, and try to scroll up the post a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you're safe, you can say that anybody after 100 years old, it's probably going to be questionable. Yeah. If you're really safe, anybody after 90.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm interested. So is there a lot of kids that are getting this 0 to 9 years old? 38 million, or that's 38 million.
That wouldn't super surprise me. I think they have a way of that. If like a parent passes, they can...
10 to 19, I can understand. 44 million, 20 to 29, and 30 to 39, I can understand those. And even like probably 40 through 69, those next three rows, those look about right. I'm actually shocked that 70 to 79 is that low.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that's because they're still working, a lot of them.
80 to 89, that's to be expected where that number is. 90 to 99, to me, that's a little high for that. And then here's where you get into straight silliness. 100 to 109, almost 5 million people. And then 110 to 119.
The 249-year-old, I'm kind of curious. We've got that might be interesting. Maybe you've got George Washington is still alive and he's drawing Social Security now. I'd love to have a chat with General Washington. I'd like his thoughts on some things.
Look at this, Wes. Well, I mean, 150 to 159, 1.4 million. I mean, this is crazy. 1,039, 220 to 229 years old. And then
to be fair, when they retired in the 1960s, their Social Security payout was probably pretty low in real terms.
Yeah, but who's cashing these checks for these people? That's the biggest thing.
I'm guessing it's probably somewhere in a trailer park.
You know, that's you, it's this type of stuff that is why I think Elon's over the target. I really do. I think he is over the target. And this is exactly why they want to get rid of him.
Absolutely. I mean, wait till he's talking about they're already setting up Doge to go into the IRS. They're setting up Doge to go into the DOD. Well, that one, holy shit. Are they going to find the missing trillions of dollars that Donald Rumsfeld didn't know about on September 10th? That'd be interesting.
I mean, this is why, folks, I cannot, in good conscience, listen to somebody rail against what they're doing with Doge. Honestly. I mean, I can't listen to that because you tell me that it's not making a difference. Just at least letting people know, hey, you've been conned. Well, then I don't know. I don't know what making a difference is then, because long have people suspected it. There's been the people that have suspected it, but a lot of folks just kept themselves in their little bubble and never paid attention. They've been defrauded out of so much money and lost so much money that they just never paid attention. And now it's right there in your face. And yet there's still people that are like, oh, no, that's not real. Or that's not happening. Hey, Medi, great to see you, buddy.
Hail, my friend. Yes, that's the thing. It's, even people that are in the deepest bubble at this point. I mean, we're finding out so much, not even about this financial stuff, which, we've been talking, to our credit, and our audience knows this, we've been talking about this stuff for years. I mean, we've been talking about it for years. And now, the proof is in the pudding. Here it is. You're getting it. You're seeing how they launder the money. You're seeing the NGOs, the bot armies that were out there deployed against us as part of the propaganda. You saw that. And then when Musk took over Twitter and Trump won, all of a sudden you have real accounts saying, I'm going off to, Blues Clues or whatever it is. And I honestly think that the reason that you saw those announcements from the real celebrities, the people that, and this is another rabbit hole you can go down. A lot of times they'll sign a contract and these old timers are like, the contract will say, well, we're going to control your social media. And the old timers are like, what the fuck is that? And they'll sign it. And they have no idea what they're even posting half the time. And so you'll see these, I'm going off to Blues Clues. And I think that was to give cover for Elon going after and terminating the bots, to make it look like there was a mass exodus from Twitter out of righteous indignation, when in fact it was just, we got caught. And we need to have a cover story here on why all of a sudden these lefty loonies have gone silent. That's a theory that I have. But yeah, I mean, this money's been funneled here, there, and everywhere. We talked about it with Operation Signature Reduction, which you guys should check out. There's a Newsweek article where they pay a keyboard army and they go after people like me and Drew. I've been a target of one of these people. And I researched this guy, and he fits the profile of somebody that would have gotten that money. So,
well,
yeah,
but you know what? The thing is I don't know if people haven't, if Doge and what they've exposed so far hasn't woken people up. I don't think the people that aren't awake by now ever will be, because I mean, even you could be not even the brightest crayon in the box, and they show you exactly what's happened in black and white, which is why the particular people that are singing songs and having protests about how terrible Elon is because Elon and Doge are over the target on this stuff. And it's funny because the rhinos, the actual rhinos, the cottons, the grams, Murkowski and oh God, what's the other one? Joni Ernst and a few
Susan
other
Collins.
ones. Yep, few other ones. They're all caving to the Trump agenda because if they don't, they out themselves as well.
They really do, and that's what I think that's where I think you're going to start seeing some pushback. I think if they're smart, they'll bide their time and wait for Trump to leave office and just lay low for a while. But it doesn't. They don't appear to be smart. Or it depends on what their dark overlords push them to do. Quite honestly,
Mehdi is happy. Signature reduction operations. Finally, someone else is talking about it.
Yes, sir. Jason Burm has talked about it too. Yeah, it's definitely something to look into. And now you're seeing, proof of that with Doge.
Man, time profit. I don't know even want to go down that hole right now because, boy, you guys have a real problem there.
I'm going to say no on that. I love Mexican food, and the Mexicans are really friendly. They're friendly people. I don't know about the folks that it seems like the folks that you have coming over. I mean, I've met people from South Asia, Pakistanis and Indians. I guess you guys call them Asians or whatever. South Asians. They seem nice, but I prefer Mexican food. Kebabs are okay. They're okay.
Oh, go ahead. Let's check that one out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
Tom Cotton. Yep. Yeah, that's what they were talking about on Jones today.
yeah, that many of them are. Many of them are. I mean, I still think there's a few. I'm really been impressed with Byron Donalds and there's another guy, Mark Wayne Mullen. I've been impressed with him, and there's another few that I'm impressed with.
My fantasy here is Donald Trump appointing Ron Paul the Federal Reserve Chairman, which he's talking about doing, and Ron Paul said he would do it.
Well, if we can get to that, then it'll be like a Linda McMahon situation, like to close down Department of Ed. We'll just have Ron Paul closing down the Federal Reserve. Again, guys, you want to throw some birthday tidings because we are celebrating 51 trips around the sun today. My birthday actually falls on Saturday, but I am stuck because I'm going to be working all week after today. So today is the day of celebration. So, if you guys want to throw some greetings, there it is. Or the other thing is, if you want to help in this manner, you just hit up the Cash App with $ Patriot Journalist 74. So back to the other stuff, Wes. Speaking of Elon, God, this is the type of shit that I do not like to wade into. I don't like to wade into baby mama drama of any type or anything else. Let me be clear on it. Because to me, and hail to Wes. Thank you, sir, for the 149 super sticker.
Little slice of birthday cake for you.
There you go. And
I can't believe it didn't
cheers.
decline. I think I'm very close to my limit.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend.
Of course.
But to get into the Elon and Ashley St. Clair thing, to me, that when you got baby mama or baby daddy drama, that's between the two parties and two parties alone. That's up to those two people. But here's the one problem I have. She makes a post asking for privacy, then 24 hours later does a full sit down with the New York Post. Then the other thing that calls me into question about her is that she's jokingly made posts before where she claims that she's an asset. And it's pretty funny because a lot of times people joke around when they're actually speaking the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if there isn't a honeypot going on that isn't trying to, again, take Elon Musk from over the target, publicly shame the guy, trash his character.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
They want that divorce from the Trump team because if that happened, who does it benefit? That's all I'm saying. It benefits all the crooks that stand to get, as of right now, prosecuted into oblivion by the DOJ. Because they very well could. This is high racketeering right now. Any people involved in this, it's high racketeering. You got RICO cases on everybody.
So we've just gotten word from Fort Knox. We've gotten inside information. Somebody took it with their cell phone picture. That's from our friend Parrot Head sent that on the Twitter. I owe you 5 million gold bars.
And hail to Parrot Head for the 149 super sticker. Appreciate you, sir. You guys are making it to happy birthday.
Hey, if I had an extra card to give you, I definitely would. Do you know how to drive a stick shift?
Yeah, I rode a
okay.
motorcycle for years.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see how things shake out here. Maybe I can. I was looking into how much it'd be to ship the truck back east, and it doesn't look like it's very expensive. But I would need another vehicle first. So right now, all I've got in my pocket is lint. Well, and the $1.49 that I'm over my credit limit now. But we'll see how things work out.
Yep. Yeah, we will. All right. Well, I want to see like a confirmation go through for Cash Patel.
Yep, they're not doing it till tomorrow.
And I'm wondering, are we even going to get it tomorrow? They seem to be, stalling the process purposely.
they are stalling it purposefully. And in fact, I'm just wondering what excuse they're going to come up with tomorrow to not have a vote on him or to delay it further. They seem to not want to go on the record one way or the other voting for him. I'm noticing that seems to be the rub here.
Yeah, I want I want my cash on delivery.
Yeah, cash me in the Justice Department. Yeah, you know that dude is going to work just as hard as Trump is once he gets in there. He's going to be dawn to dusk.
Yeah. Chrono says, I don't give a shit how drunk I am. I know we were fucking robbed. Absolutely. And that is the attitude we need from a lot of Americans. You know, tell confirmation is being delayed in hope of a miracle. I know for the dirty Dems, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
They're also desperately trying to sweep their shit under the rug. But you know what? One of the things about sweeping stuff under the rug is that, you know, that leaves a trail. And that is more incriminating than, you know, having left it alone. That gets the attention when you're sweeping things under the rug. But you're dealing with weak cowards. You're dealing with people that have no talent. And the reason they got into government is because they have no talent. They think that, you know, it's all who you know, and we're in a big club. And wow, you mean all I have to do is just, you know, murder a little kid and drink some adrenochrome, and I get to live this lavish lifestyle if I do whatever the hell you tell me to do? Put me in, coach. You have a lot of those people, but then, you know, obviously some people, it's not, they are reluctant when they start out. They start out as a revolutionary and a freedom fighter, and then, you know, they get drugged and get into a compromising position. You know, it's like The Godfather 2, where that guy's like, I'm not dealing with you fucking Italians, or whatever it was, and then he wakes up next to a dead hooker, you know.
Yeah, Kronos, don't let anybody else tell you that they're not sending help, because that's a narrative that libs are trying to put out there. They're not sending help, whatever. In Kentucky, there's already been resources diverted to Kentucky. And I saw that hit my X feed yesterday. So, you know, I know that that they've already sent resources to those people.
So,
you know, because time profit, nobody wants to take a fucking northbound train here, okay?
Wait, what about Runaway Train? Think I'm gonna get a runaway train. Seems like I'm getting nowhere. That guy died of a heroin overdose, didn't he?
Yeah, Mehdi makes a great point, by the way, Wes. Did you happen to see that map of all the property that just went up for sale in D.C.?
Okay,
My goodness, there's a mass exodus.
So I've seen the map, and I looked on Zillow to try and see that nobody posted a link to it. And I looked on Zillow, and it didn't look like there was, I mean, it looked like there was a lot of homes for sale, but I didn't have a chance to see how many. What I have been seeing that is verifiable are the searches for attorneys and for Swiss bank accounts. Apparently that's a true thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're really trying to get all that money laundered over. It is, boy, it is just crazy.
Now everybody's got Runaway Train stuck in their head.
Yeah, they all remember it. Well, hell, we're all same age enough to remember.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay, I'll change it. Night train, I'm ready to crash and burn. I'll never learn. I'm on the night train. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Can never get enough.
Yep, I remember that one too.
Yeah. The night train, never to return. That's as high as I can go.
Yeah. Well, I don't think can tie my nuts in a vice to do that one.
Oh. Yeah.
But I wonder now, returning to global matters, if we're actually, as you said earlier, Wes, going to get out of NATO.
The Europeans sure seem to think that we're going to. They're holding an emergency meeting about it. And the globalists seem to think that that was a real possibility and was one of the reasons they were trying to, stop Trump. You know,
And I'm wondering very much if there's going to be, you know, Britain is making some aggressive moves to try to step in and circumvent any deal that the United States makes, because they're threatening to send troops over to Ukraine right now.
Yep.
To intervene.
This is where I think our friends in the UK could be helpful for us, because I don't quite understand what's happening here with that. So you had Brexit, and the UK exited from the EU, and now allegedly what's going to happen is that the EU is going to raise an army to supplant any contributions that we, the United States, were going to have towards this Ukraine war. But the UK is no longer a part of Brexit, so what the hell? Or is no longer Brexited and is no longer a part of the EU.
Well, Mehdi's leaving us, but he says, time to have a great show. NATO's going to implode regardless of what happens. It failed in its mission and does not have the firepower to combat the Russians in any event. And he's right about that. They don't. The UN is a joke with their
Well, they stupidly seem to be wanting to raise an army and continue the Ukraine war, going it alone, the Europeans, and that ain't gonna work. I mean, if they want to do that, then I wouldn't want to live in Europe right now. That's all I got to say. Maybe you learn, das vidanya, comrade. You guys better learn to speak Russian if you're gonna pick that fight.
Well,
rather.
it's just to me, Europe has destroyed itself. They imported the third world into Britain, into Ireland, into Australia, into God, Germany. They're all destroying themselves. And and it seems to be like the WEF people, like Klaus said, we penetrate the cabinets. Well, they did, and they got their people in there, and they got exactly what these people brought with them, which was the goal was to destroy all these countries. That's why.
Yep. You know what? I think we should pull out of NATO, and I think, honestly, Drew, I don't even know what the hell the EU is. It doesn't even seem like any kind of government that any of us would recognize as a government. It's just this weird supranational organization. We should just revoke the recognition of the EU and tell these people we'll do trade bilaterally with each of the countries. And hey, while you're at it, you guys like a single currency? Well, you'll love the U.S. dollar. I mean, I think that's the route we need to go with it, honestly.
Japo says, I think the UK should send troops and all their Pakistani migrants, especially, yeah. Well, the people of London would be happy, because there are a lot of patriotic Brits that hate it. They hate it. They hate that because the country is losing its identity.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think that the name Mohammed's been the most popular name, and for baby name in London now for a few years. I think I was reading that
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. It's a
Time
shame.
Time Prophet doesn't want to use dollars, likes the pounds. Well, we of course the British can still have the pound. Special relationship and all that stuff.
Yeah, Kronos, nice. Yeah, it just you know, I'll claim it. Yeah, my middle name is now Drew Mohammed Taylor. Yeah, there we go. Mohammed.
Yeah, remember Johnny Jihad?
Oh, I remember Jihadi John. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what he changed his name to, but it's funny because I get apparently the freedom fighters he was hanging out with called him Yusuf Islam after the former Cat Stevens. Like they were, well, apparently he also got raped repeatedly by them, so that's unfortunate. But they called him Yusuf Islam.
Yeah, it's just my God, if the European countries followed our lead and started to self audit, but it's not going to happen because you have the crooked people in the critical positions. So that's never going to happen for them until they get actual patriots for their country in the right positions. But if they could, they would find out how badly they've been screwed over by their governments with, again, doling out money to NGOs and migrants in the whole 9 yards. They would find out as well.
Well, definitely, if these populist movements continue to build and go somewhere, I'm sure that they'll be looked into. I mean, at this point, what they have to go on is what they've received from us. Like, wait a minute, you received this much money, and how did that benefit our people? Spoiler alert, it didn't.
Well, as it stands here as an American citizen, the question I have is how in the world do I motivate myself to want to pay taxes any longer? I mean, that's a good question. I really don't want to pay taxes, period. I feel like I'm owed money. I shouldn't be paying out money on anything.
Well, you know what? And if you're self-employed, any kind of self-employment, you are public enemy number one with the IRS. They will go after you. Oh, you're hiding money somewhere. And it's like, you've got my 1099s. You already know how much I've made. So why are we going through this whole song and dance of you accusing me of being a tax cheat? When you've got my 1099s, you know how little or how much I've made and what I've paid in taxes. Why do I have to undergo this harassment? It's ridiculous. It's blood out of a turnip here is what they're looking for. And it's that was part of those 87,000 IRS agents. They're supposed to go after people like us. They weren't going to be going after the big dogs, the real tax cheats. It's fucking ridiculous.
Japo's comment, I wasn't politically active when I was younger, but I remember thinking the EU was an attempt for Europe to be like the US. Even then, I thought that wouldn't work. Yeah, because unfortunately, the EU was an attempt by globalists to consolidate all that territory and essentially put it in their hands.
Well, you have those commissioners, it's no structure that makes any kind of a sense. I mean, you do have an elected body there, but that's like the UN General Assembly, and the UN General Assembly doesn't have any power. It's all the Security Council. So that's what they seem to have done. They have these unelected commissioners that have the real power, and then you have the elected, representatives that, basically they get to make a good speech, and we'll give, the. Oh my God, how do I not remember the guy's name? Damn it, the Reform Party guy. That was part of that, part of that assembly that was given some really good speeches. The guy, the Brexit guy.
Mm-hmm.
How do I not remember his name right now? The aging folks. I mean, we're celebrating Drew's birthday here, but the struggle is real. Things will just slip out of the hard drive, or get caught in somewhere. I've almost got it. No, it's gone now. Shit. Farage, Nigel Farage. Yes, that's what I was talking about. I was so off. I was going to guess something totally different.
Yep. Yeah, Kronos had it too. Nice job, buddy.
Maybe it was all that whiskey I've had over the years. Maybe it torpedoed my brain.
Germans couldn't win the war, Time Prophet says, so they did it in an underhand way and called it the European Commission.
Well, I look, I think it needs to be done. I think it belongs on the ash heap of history. I think it needs to go away. I think it's bad. I don't like the subversion of national sovereignty. We have, because of the technology, and this is one of the wonderful things. When J.D. Vance was in Europe giving these speeches, have you seen those, Drew?
Yes.
So he gave a couple of them. One of them was about, we need to, if we're going to be defending democracy, we need to be, not afraid of our citizens' voices and of elections and of their speech. And then he cited specific examples. And then in another speech, he was talking about AI. And he was saying, look, AI, if you buy, here in America, we say, if you're not paying for it, you are the product. And if you do business with authoritarian regimes, you deserve what you get. We're going to be the leader in AI, and our AI is going to be a servant of working people and make working people more productive and successful. It's not being made to replace them. And I was like, hell yeah. See, again, when we're talking about Christmas coming early with this administration, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I love that. I mean, we're on the same page. This is what happens when you have common sense in government, which, wow, I mean, I don't think we've ever had it in our lifetime. Until, the first Trump administration, you got some of that.
Yeah, right now, Canadian government is in a shambles. It's in a bad place. Time Prophet says Britain's at the start of Skynet. Maybe.
So Time Prophet says we don't have to work out our own taxes in Britain. It's just taken out before you get them. It's taken out here too. That's the ridiculous thing. Unless you're self-employed, then you have to pay them. But if you're W-2'd, what's called W-2, that means you're a salaried employee. It's taken out beforehand, but you still have to file.
Oh, yeah. It's, God, it's crazy, and I'm going to have to do that because back when I had, before we were staying here, and I was just kind of living between an apartment, the tail end of my apartment and my car. I've got to claim that Uber money that I made. So I got to put forth a 1099.
Here's the funny thing. I don't even want to get into it. I hate them so much. The point is that they're coming after us and we're being harassed, and they're not going after the people where there's more money. Go after BlackRock. Go after those people, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. They have the power with the way that control everything with those investment firms. They go in and buy them damn neighborhoods and everything else, and they've got control of all the property. They got their hands in every little pie in just about every company. God,
Yeah, and
I'd
they're
like.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, um, I'd like to see BlackRock and get their time under the microscope, see their books.
Absolutely. Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. I like where Trump's head is at. Again, this is something that I thought was like a fantasy when he's talking about expanding the country. Things like Greenland, it's just been mentioned again from Kronos. That was stuff that I thought was like fantasy land, and it appears that it could be a reality. And it only works for me expanding the U.S. if we go back to the Constitution and have a much smaller government. And that also appears to be where it's going. I mean, it's amazing having people in office that actually reflect your values and your ideology and your political alignment. And just like we were saying earlier, how can anybody at this point be in their bubble? How can anybody at this point not see the corruption for what it is? And how do you stay that? How do you still hate Trump at this point? I don't understand. But there are people. I mean, there are people that don't want to be wrong. Now we were talking about the dumb people, but there are actually some really smart people that are still that are still just like they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it.
What did Kronos say, or what did Parrot Head send you?
Oh, okay, sure. Let me get it. I haven't viewed it yet. But just to finish my point, so the smart people that are in the bubble and have their head in the sand, these are people who would rather be right than correct. And there is a big difference between the two. That's where a little bit of discernment comes in, I think. Hang on. All right, I'm queuing it up right now.
Okay.
Boom.
Like politically what's going on. They're attacking my country.
Neil Anderson is one of several Canadians canceling their trips to the United States. He and his family were planning to visit Nashville and Memphis this weekend, but after continued threats of tariffs and talk of Canadian statehood, he says he's had enough.
So it's a rather big deal, a lot of money. But I just couldn't stomach it, so we booked a trip to Mexico.
Tennessee has a very strong tourism industry with Lower Broadway, Dollywood, and whiskey industries, spurring a continued interest among international travel.
We actually saw that have an immediate impact on travel to the United States. Through our organization, we have members who are tour operators and travel providers who sell trips to Canadians into the U.S. And one of our tour operators told us immediately she lost about 30% of her business trips that she had already booked to the U.S.
Like politically what's going on. They're attacking my country.
I think we just got looped again. So that was it. Yeah. Apparently, yeah, there is an impact on tourism there, according to that article. So I don't know. I'd probably rather go to Mexico than Nashville.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe got better food. And then you saw some of the pork chops walking around there.
Then you stay away from the liberals. I mean, I don't know. I know that some things are going to be affected, and yeah, tourism might be. But the thing is, to me, the tariffs are good, and even the ones that he's talking about, just to be on an equal playing field. A country charges us, we're going to charge them the same amount, no more, no less. I like that. Because we don't need to be paying more and be cutting them a break unless they're giving us some kind of product, some revolutionary product
Yeah, well, Tennessee, just to be fair, I do believe that's one of the states without an income tax, so it's not like they're going to be
Yeah,
hurting
it
that
is.
bad.
No, they're not.
Here in California, I'm so jealous. We have such a high income tax; it's ridiculous.
No, we're not far behind in Ohio. All right, hold on 1 second. It's time to take a potty break for me. So
All right,
you're
I do
you're
notice.
you're the man.
Okay, I do notice that the Mexicans here, since they started the ICE crackdowns, the ones that have their papers are really holding their heads high and walking tall and proud, and are actually quite open about talking about how much they don't like illegal immigration. But yeah, a lot's been happening. This is a whirlwind presidency. I'm very happy to see the way things are going. Looking forward to Kash Patel getting in there in the FBI. I can't even wait to see what's going to happen there. We're still not even a month into the presidency yet of 47. So yeah, fasten your seatbelts. Hopefully the trend continues. It's hard to be black pilled with what's going on, but you do have people that are black pillars out there. And I can't be mad at them. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I can't be mad at those people. I mean, we've been through so much. We've been abused so much. And I've had one of these signature reduction lackey types from the NGOs stick the hate mob on me. And it was a sucker punch. It was pretty lame, honestly. And now all this stuff is coming to light, and when you've been through all that, it's hard to lay down your arms. It's hard to appreciate the wins that we're getting. These wins are real and they're tangible. I do have some reservations about Musk. He is the largest defense contractor, and the stuff that he's talking about with AI is a little bit concerning. I don't know about the brain chips. I don't know about the singularity. I don't know about X becoming the everything app like WeChat. I really don't like that. But stay vigilant, eternally vigilant. I seem to remember somebody saying that. And just stay frosty and keep on keeping on. And regardless of the people that sold out along the way or the people that lived in fear when you would talk about politics, I don't want to talk about politics or whatever it is. Those people have to look at themselves every day in the mirror and know that they went along to get along this whole time. And you know what? When I wake up in the morning after everything I've been through with these fucking people, I could look myself in the eye and I could be proud of the fact that I stuck to my guns even when it was hard. And it has been hard. And as I've said on the last channel that was, that was nuked, and the channel before that was nuked, and that is, if we lose this, if we lose our freedom, if we lose this country, we may never get it back. And it's not just about us, the convenience of our daily lives and what we are going through. It's for everybody that comes, the generations that come after us. And how unfair would that be? To out of incompetence or stupidity or weakness, lose something as special as the freedoms that we've gained in this country and have them look back and have the narrative be, well, it turns out freedom doesn't work. And that's why we had to institute the New World Order. It turns out it didn't work. And just to have people quietly and in secret have heirlooms and maybe some bootleg videos of a bygone era of what freedom could have been, dealt on a black market the way somebody might be slinging dope in whatever future dystopian world would have come about. So that's what we're talking about here.
Did you happen?
I'm happy that I stuck to my guns.
Did you happen to see that ridiculous thing from 60 Minutes where they were talking about the Holocaust or something was caused by free speech?
I did see that, and I couldn't believe. It's so ridiculous you almost can't believe it. But that would have been the kind of dystopian future we would have lived in if we hadn't stuck to our guns and managed to get this thing starting to turn around.
Yeah. All right, folks. It's time for for the uh, for the birthday shot. So
Da na 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 na. It's your birthday. Da na 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 na. It's my birthday too. All right. Happy birthday to our good friend Drew Taylor.
yeah,
aka
there
Supreme
it is.
Heretic.
There it is.
Yep,
Oh
Bongino
man.
Army. Love Dan Bongino. I watched him this morning, actually. I will comment on there from time to time. Sometimes you guys will, if you see it, you send me a screenshot that you saw me in there, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you know, I do miss one thing in these times, and that is Rush Limbaugh, because to me, there still is no successor that came in and replaced Rush.
You know, Rush. I loved him when he was in Sacramento, and shortly after in the '90s when he had the TV show. I was disappointed with him when George W. Bush got into office, and then the Republicans started pigging out on the pork. And he went on there. He had just inked his like $200 million deal, and is like, I don't know why I should be carrying the water for these Republicans. They don't appreciate it, or something like that. And I was like, why are you carrying the water for the Republicans? you know, stop. He changed his tune, which disappointed me. However, he was kind of the prototype. He was the first man on the beach as far as, I guess, your alternative radio, your right wing alternative radio. And yeah, he had a big audience too with his TV show. Like people that you wouldn't expect would be watching that. The backwards running Clinton watch. No, wait,
Mm-hmm.
that's backwards. Yeah, I was backwards and then it went backwards. But yeah, he was a great voice. We take the good with the bad. But yeah, he was here in my hometown of Sacramento. That's how he got big. It's actually funny. He lived in my neighborhood. And one of the kids that I was getting back from it was like summer school. We're on the bus, and he would go to the I guess the Natomas Racket Club, which is no longer there, which sucks. And the kids were telling me that he would get totally liquored up and start yelling at people.
I'm
Anyway,
assuming
that's my story.
I'm assuming Scott Bessent had a lot to do with this, but let's bring up a interesting piece of breaking news that just crossed my timeline here, folks. Speaking of what Wes and I are talking about, this coming straight from Elon, a major improvement in Treasury payment integrity going live. And he is quote tweeting the Department of Government Efficiency. The Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, is an identification code linking Treasury payments to a budget line item, standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for 4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank, making traceability almost impossible. As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where money is going. Thanks to the U.S. Treasury for great work. So I'm assuming Scott Bessent had a lot to do with that, and as well, Doge and Elon and the team.
So we found Rumsfeld's missing trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. That is totally incomprehensible to me too, but not surprising when you've worked in government. I saw all kinds of manner of errors and mistakes and tomfoolery.
So, I wonder where we're gonna see more actual reforms. Now, the systems being reformed is great, but I just, man, I go back to the prosecutions. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see people burn for this, dude.
I do too. I want to see that. We haven't even talked about COVID yet. I still want to see people held accountable for that. And I think, unfortunately, I think the way for that's a big question mark. What are we going to do with Fauci? What's happening there? Because RFK Jr. knows all about Fauci. Wrote a book on Fauci, which I was kind of, I knew about some of some of the HIV stuff. I didn't quite know some of the other stuff. He's a bad dude. I mean, that you want to talk about somebody who was profiting off of government? Fauci was a terrible person. And hopefully,
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where, you know, God, you want to talk about somebody that's a truly evil asshole. That guy is gonna be, he's gonna go down in history as our friend Laura Logan quite astutely pointed out, as being as bad as Mengele.
oh, I think he's going to be worse. It's one thing, people see with human suffering is bad enough, but what he did to the beagles, that was really, really terrible. I wonder, if China, because technically he was funding the lab in China and the leak came from China. It's been confirmed now. So, I don't know if China wants him extradited. Pardon doesn't mean shit over there.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see if that's the workaround. And the same with Hunter Biden. Man, you give somebody millions, the Chinese, if you give people millions of dollars like that and they either don't deliver or you've been screwed, they don't mess around. So there's a lot of different ways to go on this, but it's early in the administration and you don't want to blow your wad on that stuff yet. Although I imagine once Cash is in there, we'll see what happens. Cash, I'm sure we'll be looking into it. All of it.
Yeah, and what's your take on them going and essentially giving Eric Adams a deal?
I support it. He was politically prosecuted and persecuted just like Trump was. And, furthermore, I really think for Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, they need to start having talks with that guy because they went after him too. And they went after him because he was a rising star. So, Cuomo did some stuff during COVID that was not good. But he's got an axe to grind against these people. So what's that saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I say go for it. And Eric Adams, it's also a good way to get Eric Adams to cooperate on immigration. So I support it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do believe that there's going to be hell to pay, specifically for a number of people that were involved in treatment and prosecution of the J6ers, for the people involved in COVID. And I do believe they'll find a way to go around the pardon for Fauci and get him on something else. And there's going to be hell to pay for the Afghanistan pullout. And I do believe there's going to be some real accountability on the border as well. There's going to be some people getting their asses in a sling over the border. So we'll see what happens with that too.
Yep, interesting times we live in. It'll be interesting to see where we're at a year, 2 years from now. I think and they're talking about. I mean, there's so much going on. This even slipped my mind. They're talking about impeaching those two judges that that ruled that the Secretary of the Treasury didn't have the right to review the records of the Treasury. And of course, they're finding out that one of them, his family is deep with NGOs, and he's on an NGO, and they're in various levels of government. It's just incredibly corrupt circle of corruption. And so they're talking about, Johnson, I think, was talking about impeaching those judges, which they should do. And that also gives Trump a reason to run in 2026 to get a supermajority, to get MAGA people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Although only 1/3 of the Senate's going to be up for election, so it'll be interesting to see how they do that. But he should go in, full force.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that he does, because there needs to be a sense of accountability, because far too long this has gone on. I mean, as we said earlier, much of this has gone back to the mid to late 70s. This sort of system that they put the mechanics of in place, it's been tweaked and modernized by the people that have taken advantage of it. And this has been a thing in Washington for decades. So really and truly, we're watching in real time the deconstruction of the swampy DC period. It is kind of fascinating to watch.
Really is. I'm enjoying it. I haven't slept this well in a long time. Once it became clear that Trump had won, and that he survived to Inauguration Day, and then that first day he had just did all this activity that keeping his promises. I was like, holy shit, this guy is is serious here.
Right, exactly.
So I've got a moment of levity here to share with you. So I thought this might be meritorious of some discussion.
Okay.
All right. So I saw this online, and everybody is focusing on the mug shot. And if you look in this picture, if you share it, you can see sharing it.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
You could see there he's got his mug shot in the White House, right?
Yep.
But all I can think about is, what the hell is Janeway doing there?
I know.
Right?
She looks like she does look like Janeway a bit. Admiral Janeway.
I know. I think we figured it out. She worked for Doge, and Tuvix was drawing two salaries, and that's why she killed Tuvix.
Yep.
Yeah, she's Mr. Tuvix. You're drawing two salaries, but you're one entity. Engage. Yeah. So it's good to have Janeway time traveling back to work for Doge to execute people that are drawing two salaries.
We have a very very interesting thing here, Wes. This This goes back right to your neck of the woods. This is this right here. Let me go ahead and share this. This is a picture that was apparently shared by former talk show host Ricky Lake about her house that got completely demolished, and I love a good conspiracy theory, so we'll go ahead and just take a look at this photo. Like,
Did she turn back into a great big giant fat lady, or is she still skinny?
that I don't know, but if you look at this, man, it really looks to me kind of weird why you have the structure in the upper left, but this right here got hit. And I'm wondering, again, look, you talk about directed energy weapons and people look at you funny, but, the Navy has just confirmed lasers on their ships. They have actual laser directed energy weapons now. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. I'm going to share a couple of. I stopped sharing this. So,
What kind of beer are you having, Kronos?
Want to share a couple of the replies too, because look, there's these are very interesting.
Street. What the is that, dude? What? That's it.
Where is that from?
Explosion. Holy
Now, what does that look like to you?
God.
Looks like a laser.
Yep.
I think the Death Star is just activated, and it was for a single emission. Where is that at?
I don't know. This is from 2021. Now,
Interesting.
Look, a lot of people will call us far-fetched for calling this out, whatever. I don't think so. You can sit there and say, well, the stuff about, well, if you paint your house blue or whatever, it protects you from an energy weapon, this and that. Well, there shouldn't be energy weapons in play, but apparently there are, because all the shit that DARPA does, and this goes back to the black budget projects, dark money. It isn't far-fetched to think, that those wildfires could have been started. Just saying. Because two of the most lucrative neighborhoods, who's going to have their hands on that? The government. A lot of that property now is going to go into the hands of the government.
Which Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom both, even though they were at that press conference with Trump, and they're like, yeah, sure, you can rebuild exactly the way you want to. They sure turned around on that in a New York minute, didn't they?
No, they absolutely did. It's it really makes me wonder. And it takes you back to the Maui situation. What was that? Because that very easily, funny enough, was a quote wildfire.
That one, and there were the lasers. You could see the lasers on that one zipping across the sky. I don't know. It seems like a really expensive way to do something like that. But I mean, I don't know. We've already seen the waste, so all bets are off.
Well,
You know,
and the stuff,
Nero burned Rome to rebuild Rome.
and the stuff with the hurricanes, dude. They can. It's clearly on record that they have the technology to redirect hurricanes, redirect different types of storms. It's crazy, and again, we're going off into the realm of stuff we could discuss on the Midnight Prism, but I'm telling you, dude, it's that's very interesting to think about because you know we know the government is this corrupt that they've not betted an eyelash and stolen from us for well over 40, 50 years now. But, you go back to this, why would anybody think that they wouldn't deliberately cause calamities and then just come in and swoop in like conquering heroes and fix it? And then all of a sudden take that valuable property.
Yep.
That's the type thing that I look at and I say, well, it's one of those cases where, yeah, you want to check the box of everything tangible and everything that makes sense scientifically. But when you begin to rule that out, you look at these other avenues and you know that we have the technology readily available. That's all I'm saying. Now, look, they could have had any number of ways that wildfire started because there were migrants caught trying to add to those wildfires, things like that. So that could have been a source as well. But I'm not ruling out the use also of directed energy weapons.
I'm not ruling anything out. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it.
It's the same thing with HARP. Nobody knows how they've expanded HARP's capabilities, especially now that we're into 2025. Nobody knows. Who knows what DARPA's doing?
Yep, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm really kind of curious to see where this whole NATO thing goes, because it does appear that Europe is trying to. Now they want to, take care of their own security, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I think peace is probably the route you want to go.
Yep.
See, again, if they wanted to charge Joe Biden with blowing up the Keystone XL pipeline. Wait, which one's is it the key? No, wait, the Keystone's the one here. What's the one over there?
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they wanted us to extradite Biden. Maybe we should do that too.
Well, we'll see. Again, we live in very interesting times.
So I'm gonna have to look this up now. Pipeline. What's the key? I always get those two confused. There's the Keystone, and then there's the other pipeline. Yeah, I think you know what. I haven't been exercising lately. That's probably what it is. My brain doesn't work so well when I haven't been exercising. Pipeline, Europe. And Biden was stupid too. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline. There you go.
Yes. That's what it was.
Yeah. It seems like I don't know the word. It's interesting times. I was watching John Bolton get up there and talk about, oh, well, you're giving Putin everything that he wants, and it's like, Ukraine. That's not our deal. That's not our war. They're not in NATO. They're not even in NATO. They're not even in NATO. And we made an agreement that we weren't going to expand NATO, and we did, and we said we weren't. So it's like, yeah, and now with Europe censoring and doing all that censorship and stuff, it's like we're out. Good luck, guys. Honestly, I think NATO should have been ended when Russia, when the Soviet Union fell. I think at that point, it's like, why do we even need a NATO? And I even remember talking about it. At family dinners, Thanksgivings, and Christmases. Well, we guess NATO's not needed anymore. It's like, why do we still have NATO? And I think its time has come and gone. I think it's overstayed its welcome. Go back to George Washington. No entangling alliances. Don't do that. And it's like, good luck, guys.
Wow, a British man was arrested for posting a British flag on social media. Section 127 of the Communications Act, posting something of great offense that can cause a person anxiety.
It's ridiculous. We take it for granted here in the U.S. having the First Amendment, and I've heard people our friends from around the world all talking about it, even during COVID. We're under a lot of pressure during COVID on our free speech, but not as much as our friends were overseas. And I feel for them. I really do. Hopefully JD Vance's message to them about knocking this censorship crap off resonates, but it didn't sound like it. Did you hear that? Did you hear the crowd?
Yeah.
When he was talking? Did you hear the groans and grunts? And just like one lonely person in the audience was like way in the back. And that's one of the things I love about the Trump administration is getting them to self-own. Because no amount of censorship can take that off. Anybody that lives in the EU countries or in the UK can look at that and say, I see what's going on here. I mean, many of them know.
Doe's congressional audit shows 3 Democrat senators have gained more than $20 million in net worth, each with no plausible explanation. Their wealth just appeared. Their files have been turned over to Pam Bondi at Justice.
Boom. Get rid of them. That's funny, Papa. Cotton Ministry says, my next door neighbor spent all evening bragging about his trophy collection, but when he asked me about mine, he acted like he'd never seen a bottle of Pinky Fingers before. Yeah, does it say which senators it was?
No, it didn't. But I'm pretty sure that we can
Ship
guess.
to ship?
Yeah, probably.
I can't. You know what?
Liz
It's-
Warren, probably.
Shifty Shift, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. Bernie, maybe. Yeah, I saw this video of this trafficked woman survivor that was talking about going into great detail about how they blackmail these people, and I won't go into the great detail here, but she said that Bernie Sanders was one of the ones that was forced to do something to a young boy, and that they had a tripod set up in his family in there. I don't know if this story is true or not. And they said, do it, or we're going to kill you and your family. And they taped him and they filmed him, and she said he was crying the entire time. And you got to wonder about this stuff, because when you see the body language of Bernie Sanders, where they start getting into, the when they're talking about Doge and things of that nature, and these NGOs, and then big pharma, he looks very, very upset, more upset than you would think somebody would be over a political disagreement, we'll say. I mean, this looks like somebody that was, put through the ringer and is scared.
Yeah, I guess Elon's going after Norm Eisen for receiving public funds. Should be interesting.
Yep.
That guy's a huge lawfare guy.
If these people had not stolen this election from him in 2020, he'd be out of office right now. And they would have had him so bogged down with shit that he probably only would have accomplished, about half the stuff he's already gotten done right now.
Yeah.
They should have, you know what? That's what happens when you have stupid evil. Fuck around and find out. You're finding out right now, folks. And then they tried to kill him, and that did, there are reports that he still is holding a major grudge over that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know, what happened to Ivana Trump, that freak accident that she had. I mean, I know she was his ex-wife, and that divorce was pretty acrimonious, but she was still the mother of his children, and his children, I don't know about Ivanka, but the other kids, the boys, seem to be pretty on board with the Trump train.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that was a message, and it was the freak accident was that she fell and hit a banister with her chest, and it stopped her heart. That is the story. That's the story. Does that sound remotely plausible to anybody?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Yep. Kronos says he didn't hear about that. Yeah, it was quickly, it was reported and then it went away. It was not in the news very long at all.
Yeah, I know. God, so much stuff. And we still have all the stuff coming from that commission that Anna Paulina Luna is in charge of, with the JFK declassifieds and all that. We got all that trove of information coming.
Yep, we might be busy. We might have a really long show when that happens.
Oh, dude, we are going to have a slew of shows. We are going to have a slew of shows. Meanwhile, there's all these Democrats and other people are like,
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
I think that we should. I think we should keep Joe Biden in a plexiglass cage on Capitol Mall.
Yeah, maybe.
Just have it to where you can just, throw food at him every once in a while and just watch him shit himself and walk around confused.
Yep. That would be the move.
Yeah, give him like a loincloth and make him look like the guy from the Megadeth Countdown to Extinction album cover.
Yep.
The thing, man. Where's Francois Mitterrand? I'm the senator from Delaware.
Oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna sign on out of here.
Dang it, back to laundry day. Okay.
So I'm gonna make something to eat and chill with the missus, and
Right.
I will see you guys. Well, thank you for hanging out and celebrating my birthday, folks. And again, if you want to send something, Cash App, $ Patriot Journal 74, or just use the handy dandy Stream Element tip link. And if you want to help out with the Give Send Go campaign, you can find that pinned to my top tweet on the Twitter, or the X, I should say. I'm still used to Twitter. I'm always going to call it Twitter.
I'm going to call it Twitter too. Give this man some whiskey.
Yep. Or just enough to get an Uber. My goodness. But thank you guys. And I do appreciate you. We're going to do more of these things. Wes and I are both plugged in. Listen, we're living in the most interesting time ever. And, you want good talk about what's happening. You always know you can trust Wes and you can trust me. We're going to give it to you straight.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the stuff that matters. So just hang tight with us. Make sure you're following Wes on Rumble. Subscribe to his channel. And make sure you help him out with all of that. Because we need his voice. We need my voice. And if they do something to me here, you guys know that I'll go to Twitch, I'll go to Rumble, I'll go wherever I got to go. But I'll be right there. I'm staying in the fight this time. And I'm not going anywhere.
Hear, hear.
All right. Well, I will see you guys most likely next Sunday for Midnight Prism. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. If Wes does any streams like this weekend and I can happen to pop on or something, I will. If not, I will see you guys late Sunday night.
Thanks for hanging. See ya.
See you guys.